I am the biggest bitch in the goddamn room because I'm that goddamn great. So that being said, if a fat black woman can do it, why haven't you? Y'all, perhaps it's the fat phobia. Hey y'all, it's Francine and Simone, your conscious consumer of dumb bitch shit, and on today's episode of Why Earth is So Damn Trailer Park, I bring to you fat phobia, anti-blackness, and how Lizzo is breaking the matrix. So y'all, over the last week, as many of you probably already know if you're clicking on this video, Lizzo came out with a music video, Rumors, featuring Cardi B. I listened to it. It was good. It was popping. You know what I'm saying? But after the music video, there's tons of backlash because I can see because the music video in itself is very empowering. It's very much about like, you have rumors about me, but bitch, they true. So following all of that, Lizzo was on her live stream and she was very upset, and rightfully so. Because a lot of the backlash, and as a black woman, I've seen this consistently, and unsurprisingly, but also very disappointingly from black women, is anti-Lizzo because they feel like she's some type of mammy. First of all, I am really weirded out by the fact that most people don't know what the mammy archetype is. It's an archetype that came about after slavery from a role that black women had to forcibly play, which was the confidant of the white woman who enslaved her, and also the rearer of white children, aka the nursemaid, the entire caregiver of a white child who would then grow up to, bullwhip the shit out of her own children, while also having to neglect and completely abandon her own children in favor of taking care of her enslaver's children. So this whole role was honestly something that white people ate up. Fucking loved it. And I mean, when I say that she had to abandon her own children, oftentimes this woman, if she had children from someone that she actually had a loving relationship with, she had to abandon those children. If she had children because she was raped by her enslaver, she also had to abandon those children. So as you can see, this is a person who literally has no choice to be in this role and is a constant caregiver. Again, white people eat it up. However, after slavery, post-emancipation, because this role was quickly like, who's going to stay here? Nobody. None of us really want to do this. You found out that, we love our slaves. We love the people that we enslave, and they love us too. Yet they all bounced once they found out that they could. So a big archetype that came out of that was mammy, this idea of this black woman who just loves to take care of white children, who loves her white lady, and just, is all about just taking care of the white family. And that was an entire archetype that came out of that, simply to reiterate and to constantly call back to a time that obviously these people fucking miss. Ugh. So you can understand my complete confusion when people describe Lizzo, who is pro-black. She exists as black. She just expresses herself and expresses herself using black music as a mammy just because she's mainstream and has a white audience, as well as a black audience. It's not like Lizzo went from making rap mixtapes, being, the rap queen, just to jump ship and start singing pop songs to gain that, that mainstream so she could check that cash. No, Lizzo has been doing what she's been doing from the beginning. So it's very confusing where this idea comes from that she is somehow anti-black and pro-white, that she's, a caregiver to white people, that she's singing over here for white women. Or is it? Or is it that it stems from the fat phobia? Now, y'all, follow me here. You have a woman who is fat, and she's glorious. She speaks her mind. She takes up her space, both physically, and demands what she's owed. She doesn't kowtow. She doesn't belittle herself. She doesn't cut up her body or change it in any way to gain the favor of those that she thinks she needs favor from. She says, if you don't like it, then leave it, bitch. That is obviously very 180 from what most people are used to. Most people are used to fat women taking up spaces, throwing jokes and cracking laughs, not trying to be the sexy one, however, but the funny one, or the caregiver. And Lizzo defies all of those roles. She says, no, I'm sexy because I deem it so. If you don't find me sexy, that's fine. I didn't ask. I didn't ask. Why are you interjecting yourself into my sexiness? It's odd. It feels like you think I'm an object and you want to possibly desire me, but don't desire me because society and the framework and the matrix that you live in says that this is not desirable. And so you're angry that I say, well, yes, it is. Y'all. Perhaps it's the fat phobia because Lizzo went out there herself and empowered women who did not feel empowered in fat bodies. And perhaps a large amount of the body positive movement that was taken over because it was really started by Black women, but was largely taken over by white women, held up Lizzo as their goddess, their calling card, their, hey, yes, anytime I feel like I am not who I'm supposed to be, or anytime I feel like I need to appease anyone else, I throw on a Lizzo song. Perhaps because it was those women holding her up, because there were Black women who were bigger, who were not, because they're still fighting against. And I'm not to say that Black women are at fault here, because not only do we fight against body, image, dysmorphia, social exclusion, objectivity, we have to fight against all of that and race and colorism. So honestly, we're fighting against essentially the entire spectrum of the world, whereas white women really are only fighting about beauty standards. Oh, they don't think I'm pretty because I'm big. Not they don't think I'm pretty because I'm big or I'm dark skinned or because I'm big and I'm dark skinned or because I am brown and big and have curves. And so they're looking at me as a sexual object to be used up and abused, not romanticized or not romanced. Or not only do I have a small select group of men who could possibly like me as a big woman in my mindset because of beauty standards and the stereotypes that surround that, but also it is still dwindled down in half because how many of those men enjoy Black women bodies, especially considering that the mass majority of those stereotypes are Black men who are seeking white, big-bodied white women. This is the media that has told to me this. These are the messages that I hear and that resonate the most, that tell me consistently that the world does not like Black women, that they just want us to go away. They want to use us, they want to abuse us, and then have us be silent about such said abuse like the original who? The original Mammy. So that's why it is most discouraging and most disgusting to me when I see especially Black people describe her as such, because it is such an anti-Black term, and not even just anti-Black, it's anti-Black woman. It is literally the epitome of the enslaved Black woman, and wanting to cast someone into that role simply because they make you uncomfortable is disgusting to me. And I know people are saying, oh, she's unhealthy or she shakes her ass and, like it's just tactless. Excuse the motherfuck out of me, okay? I have seen plenty of white women, plenty of skinny Black women. I have seen plenty of women, period, who don't have as much body as Lizzo doing the exact motherfucking same things. And we find it funny or this or that. We don't put such a heavy fine on these women for twerking at a park with children because we don't see it as graphic. But when a fat Black woman does it, not only is she fat, which we find graphic, which most likely, and I guarantee you, if a fat white woman was doing the exact same thing, everybody would be laughing at her, yes, and at her expense. It's absolutely fucking horrible still, but they'd be laughing. They wouldn't be enraged. And it's because she's a Black woman, which I think there's some repression about the actual desirability of the Black woman, aside from her being an object. But because she's a Black woman embodying her own sensuality, embodying her own space, not afraid to say, this is me, somehow it has become graphic. Just like how a Black woman walking down the street is a video vixen, if she has on shorts and a short sleeves crop top or some shit like that, somehow now she's an object of catcalling and affection, a Jezebel. So it's more so that Lizzo isn't just dealing with fat phobia. No, she's not just dealing with anti-Blackness. No, she's dealing with an entire fucking matrix that is terrified of what she represents. And I'm going to elaborate because I will explain what I mean by that. Lizzo is a Black woman who is also fat, who can own the space that she's in and be successful by the terms of what society equates as success. Obviously, we each have our individual ideas of what success means, yes. But as society goes, she's cashing them checks, she's got that bag. You get what I'm saying? We even have lingo about this type of success. And she's cashing it in. You don't know shit about her personal life. Honestly, it's the amount of people who project the fact that she may be upset because no man likes her. And I'm like, when did she ever talk about men? When did we ever assume that she must not have any type of man? Is it because she's fat and you just assume that she's by herself and alone? When's the last time you ever saw anything about Lizzo's personal private life? She may post things on social media, but that's social media, y'all. When's the last time you seen anything about her personal private life? Y'all, we didn't know Beyonce was pregnant until she was at the billboards and did her whole, thing. We don't know anything about Beyonce. She drops an article and we're like, oh, the queen speaks. She said something. Oh my God. We get a glimpse in. And yet people still project and think that they know about the life of Beyonce. They did for a very long time until they finally fucking realized, oh, this bitch don't tell us shit, actually. We don't know nothing. She'll come out with some very intimate record later on, and we realize that we didn't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So what makes us feel like with Lizzo, you know any of her personal life? And so, for all intents and purposes, the only thing that you really have to go on is the success that you can see that society deems a success, which is her rise as an idol. Yes? So that being said, if a fat black woman can do it, why haven't you? That's how it feels, doesn't it? Unconsciously. Obviously, most people consciously don't think of this. Most people are probably like, I don't give that bitch any 2 cents, even though they stay watching her shit, spending their time commenting on people's videos who be talking about her shit, even though we be making content about her because she is someone to talk about. Meanwhile, who are the rest of us? You get what I'm saying here? If a woman who is fat and black, who you deem the least at the bottom of the totem pole, who should hang her head down low and walk quietly and be grateful for any kind of fucking attention that she gets. For a woman where y'all believe all that, inherently and unconsciously, because y'all be pretending like you don't know, it's just her personality. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not. It's disingenuous. It's disingenuous. If you didn't like her personality, then you just kind of wouldn't give a fuck about her. You wouldn't be talking about how she acts and what she does. That's why I don't like it. She ain't married to no rapist. So I'm confused. It seems to me like personality, is that really a reason to drag her ass through the streets because of her personality? You know what I'm saying? I'm not absolving her. Obviously, I don't even know Lizzo. I don't know her like that. So I'm not absolving her of any personality flaws that individuals may find and not jive with her. None of my motherfucking business. However, I will say, it's interesting to me how when we see a woman be successful who we really, truly believe should not be, whether it be because of our own internalized anti-blackness, whether because of our own internalized body dysmorphia, because our own internalized fat phobia, skinny phobia, I don't know what the fuck ever you got, your own internalized mental health issues about who the fuck you are and where you came from. You projecting all of those at the moment onto a woman because somehow someone who should be at the bottom of us is at the top. So what does it say about where we are? What does it say about what we choose to do with our time? What does it say about our mission in life? How have you created a new role for people to play in this matrix? Lizzo has created a new role for people to play in this matrix. If you don't believe it, ask the body positivity movement. They all about Lizzo. Ask any of them people in the comment section talking about she's giving people unhealthy standards of living. Ask all them people because they seem to think that she's given people a new role to live, whether it's positive or negative. She is moving mountains. What have you done to move a mountain, even in your own community, even in your own family? How have you broken your own generational curses? How have you paved the way for someone who is behind you? How many doors have you opened for anyone else? And that is the problem that people have with Lizzo. She is opening doors left and right and left and right. And she leaves us all with the question, what the fuck am I doing? If she can do this, and I deem her so below me, then what the fuck am I doing? But instead of asking ourselves that question, we spin it around, we tie it up in a bow, we put that shit in a box, and we repress it. And what happens when you repress shit? That shit always comes the fuck back up, but it comes out in the form of anger and rage because deep down, most of us are depressed. Deep down, most of us are unsatisfied with something in our lives. Deep down, we feel angry because we know that we deserve better. But what are you doing with that anger? What are you doing to give yourself better? I can tell you what Lizzo's doing because she everywhere. You know why I can tell her? You know why I can say what she's doing? Because she has the fucking audacity to do it. So that's all I got to say, y'all. If y'all have some comments or some thoughts down below about the whole controversy, it's not even a controversy, really. It's just a mess. Honestly, leave them down. Engage. Tell your friends to come for the laughs. Usually I'm much more funnier than this. I said that as a fat black girl. And to stay for the ascension. Because honestly, y'all, that's what it's all about. It's about us ascending as people out of the mind frames, out of these matrix, and out of these roles that we've been told that we should be playing in this weird ass fucking life, and into creating our own, creating new roles for other people to play, the people who will come after us. Just new ways of living is what I'm getting at. And I think that it's beautiful when people do this. I think it's beautiful when people defy odds to do this, to open doors for someone else, and to sit here and cherry pick and nitpick at somebody for how they choose to do it, or to say that you were for women's liberation, but you were really uncomfortable with how she sexually liberated herself. Means, you know, cognitive dissonance, you ain't quite there. So, I mean, y'all, that's what I'm all about. If you like the content, then comment down below, like, subscribe, and, you know, give you a bitch a holla. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye.